Morgan, would you please stand? Morgan graduated in 2014. While at Charlotte Prep, she attended the regional and state science and history fairs and went onto the International Science and Engineering Fair in high school for her project that she started at Charlotte Prep. She attended Charlotte High School. She graduated summa cum laude, and I might add, she was one of the wonderful students that gave a speech. And Morgan, I saw that speech, and I loved it. You represented us in a beautiful way, and I was very proud of you. Morgan McAtee is a rising senior at Fordham University in New York City, where she has been named to the Dean's List for the 3 years that she has attended. She is studying global business with a concentration in global finance and business economics. While at Fordham, she has been recognized for her achievements in consulting and was awarded a finalist spot in the Business Schools Consulting Cup. Morgan is a member of the Lincoln Center Society, where she serves as an ambassador for the school and has acted as a representative to prospective and incoming students. She currently holds an internship at UBS in Manhattan, working in private wealth management, and after college, Morgan hopes to continue with her career in wealth management. Morgan enjoys surfing. She loves to travel. She's an avid reader, and believe it or not, she loves to watch the Tampa Bay Lightning hockey team. Go figure. Throughout her academic and professional career, Morgan acknowledges how integral Charlotte Prep was in her success and in her development. We are so proud of her and so thankful for her attendance at tonight's graduation. She has a supportive and very important person, I might add, with her tonight. So Jack Bingham, would you also stand? Let's all give Morgan a round of applause as she comes to the podium. And by the way, my 8th graders, as you walk into our Building 2 foyer, there's that beautiful mural right as you come in to the right. Morgan did that for our school when we changed our name maybe 2 years ago. That's wonderful. Morgan, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Morgan McAtee, and I feel like it was just yesterday that I was sitting in those very seats, graduating 8th grade and thinking, wow, life is about to start. The introductory chapters were coming to a close and the important chapters were about to be written. Now I'm coming up on my senior year of college and I'm in this same room thinking, where did the time go? How did I write those chapters so fast? It's been 7 years since I was in your spot, and honestly, it's happened in a blink of an eye. As fast as it has been, I've learned a lot in these past 7 years. I'm sure the parents in the room are thinking, yeah, and she has a lot left to learn, but it's very true. Yes, it is very true. But honestly, what I have to offer is what I've come to know is true in these past 7 years. So, I would like to share with you 8th graders the 7 most important writing tips I have picked up along the way to help you write this next chapter of your life. I didn't realize they were going to be behind me. Would it be okay if I picked the microphone up?
Absolutely.
Improv here. All right. I remember what it was like to be an 8th grader at Charlotte Prep. At the time, the school was still called Charlotte Academy, a long time ago. And I remember being so ready to get to high school. After all, I had been in the same school since I was 2, with the same students and the same class from that same time. So it was a very long time in my life. I was ready to take on the world and no one was going to stop me. I'm sure many of you feel that exact same way. Then high school came, and then high school went. And for me, it was full of extracurricular activities, AP classes, swim practice, school dances, and art shows, all so close in my memory that I can still smell the chlorine in my hair and remember how cold those AP testing rooms were. I remember feeling that same eagerness to get to college. I was going to New York City after all. It was my dream for as long as I could remember, and honestly, I couldn't wait to get out of Punta Gorda. At my high school graduation, I thought, yes, this is now where life begins. And honestly, I was just so excited that I couldn't see past that high school graduation. And then I got to college, and I stayed up way too late, and I ate way too much pizza in the city, and I went on countless interviews, and I learned how to do school from Zoom University, like many of you did as well. And I moved into a big girl apartment. And now I'm knocking on the door of my senior year, and I'm still thinking to myself, is this where life begins? Looking back, I realized that I was so eager to get to those next chapters of my life that I was too busy looking ahead to stop and cherish those moments that happened along the way. I missed some of those lessons learned along the way, and now I realize that life was actually beginning with every new day. I one time wrote a college essay on becoming part of the future before the future becomes part of the past. I want you guys to think about that for a second. Become part of the future before the future becomes part of the past. I now realize that it is equally as important to slow down and live for the day-to-day rather than the week-to-week, or the month-to-month, or the year-to-year. So here's my first piece of advice, 8th graders. Cherish every moment. Every moment is worth living for. Enjoy every line written in your story. After all, each and every second of the day that you are lucky enough to be alive is worth smiling about. The second thing that I have learned time and time again over these past 7 years is be nice to everyone you meet, because you never know who they are, you never know where they are going in life, you never know how they will impact your life one day. Case in point, my wonderful boyfriend, Jack. Here we go. I met Jack by chance at a parents' weekend, and his family happened to be sitting at the same table as mine. A full year went by, and before I saw that sun again, and when I did, it was for a school-assigned project, and here we are 2 years later, happier than ever, and little did I know that our characters' plot lines would intersect in the way that they have. But man, am I thankful for that first time I met him, that I was nice and I made a good impression. Now, this is completely applicable to anyone you meet in your lifetime, at any time in your life, not just significant others. Who knows if that person you meet one time at a random event could be a future best friend, a future boss, a future family member even. I find that if you are just kind to people from the beginning, you have the power to positively affect people's lives in ways that you could never plan for. And something great too, is they also tend to return the kindness later down the road if you ever need it. All right, third piece of knowledge I will impart upon you guys. Took a 1,500-mile move for me to learn. So I want to tell you guys this now before you ever have to move that far away. Make life your personal fashion show. See the red coat? Never be afraid to express who you are through your own personal style. When I went to high school, everyone wore the exact same jeans, the exact same shirt, with the exact same pair of shoes, accessorized with the exact same haircut, all from the exact same store. And for a while, I thought it was so important to fit into that exact same uniform role. And then I got to New York City, and when I moved there, I saw that no two people dressed alike, and yet they walked up and down the avenues, using them as their personal runways with complete confidence. And I remember very quickly, I decided that that was how I wanted to live my life. Wearing clothes that fit who I was and were made better by the personality and confidence that accessorized them. Your fashion should reflect the character that you have been written to be. Never be afraid to express yourself through how you look, and remember that the best item of clothing that you can wear is your personality, because it's been written and is unique to you. Always remember that. Now, this next one might be a little cringeworthy for the 8th graders to hear, but your parents probably know more than you do, and you will always call them for advice whenever you need it. My mom used to always say to me, Morgan, you don't ask, you don't get. And to this day, when I call her and I ask her for advice on getting extra credit from professors, asking to be more involved at work, going on interviews, she always says to me, Morgan, just ask. So, pearl of wisdom and writing tip number 4 is hold those things hold those things your parents say over and over again close to you, because they're usually right, and one day you will appreciate it so much. Parents, thank me later. And you might even get to repeat them to a class of graduating 8th graders one day. Standing up here, I remember almost exactly what it felt like to give the speech at my 8th grade graduation 7 years ago. I was full of emotion, totally excited to get to high school, yet I was also experiencing those twinges of anxiety. The page was about to turn on my story, and I was about to gain a new plot line. I remember feeling that nervousness all the way up until my first day of class. I felt the same nervousness my first night when I slept in my dorm room. I felt that same nervousness again when I went to my first interview. And I felt it again all the way up until my first day of my first internship. Now, as hard as it might be to know, just remember that during those times, it is so important to know that your anxiety does not negate your preparedness or enthusiasm. So pearl of wisdom number 5, it's okay to be nervous. In fact, it's totally normal. Those butterflies that you feel are not there to hurt you. They're there to keep you on your toes. So embrace it and always take that next step forward no matter how anxious you might feel. Now, number 6, and one of the hardest lessons I've ever had to learn in my life, is that making mistakes and failing is just part of life. It is how you learn from those missteps that really matter. I thought I had my life figured out when I was 14 years old. I was going to go to high school, I was going to do really well, I was going to go to an Ivy League school, and that was that. Couldn't see anything else. That was the plan from so early on that it actually already felt like a reality. So when I applied and got rejected from not 1, not 2, but all 7 Ivy Leagues, I thought that I was a total failure. I was absolutely crushed, totally heartbroken, and I thought that everything I had ever planned for was a total mistake. But look where I am now. I ended up at Fordham University. I'm happier than ever. I have met the most incredible people. I have been presented with the most amazing opportunities. And honestly, I learned from myself to find failure that everything happens for a reason. And honestly, sometimes failure is just another way to start that next chapter. Just remember that no matter what, you are going to make mistakes. You're going to misstep. You're going to trip up. You're going to make typos in your own story. Know that you will fail, but more importantly, know that you will succeed in ways that you will never, ever plan for. Take every fall with grace. Just remember to get up, brush off that dust, and keep walking forward. Now, my final and 7th piece of advice is always remember your roots. As I had said earlier, I was absolutely itching to get to high school, graduate, go to college, move to the big city, and no matter how far away I moved or how fast I worked to get where I am now, I can never rewrite those introductory chapters to my story. My first chapters will always be set in small town Punta Gorda with a Montessori school education from Charlotte Prep, a high school education from Charlotte High, and honestly, looking back, I wouldn't change it for the world. No matter what anyone says, you will always be part of this Charlotte Prep family. You will always remember those history fair projects you did for Miss Roth. You will always remember those warm smiles from Miss Spear. And you will always remember the President's song from Miss King, which I do still remember and can do by heart. Now, where you come from is as equally important as where you are going. And as you continue to grow, you will always go back and reread those formative parts that Charlotte Prep helped you write. This day is not about me, and it's not about what I've learned. Today is about you guys and your accomplishments. While I'm happy to be here to impart some writing tips as someone who has literally sat in your seat trying to visualize the next chapters of her story, today is the end of one chapter in your book. But today is also the beginning of the novel that only you can write. Congratulations, class of 2021, and thank you guys all so much. Here's to your next chapter.
That was absolutely wonderful, and I am so proud of you.